Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terrence Brown. Right now, I am going to be giving an overview of an assessment of an interview that I'll be doing with a client. My client is a 33-year-old female who's in her third marriage, and she also has three kids. The reason she has came into the office today is because she's being physically, mentally, and verbally abused by her current husband, and also her children are also suffering from the same things. Um, a little bit of background history on my client. She stated that her father was being abusive to her, and um, even her previous two marriages, the husbands were also abusive to her and the children at the time. So she's into the office right now. We're going to do our initial assessment and interview to see what's really going on and how we can help her. So first thing off, I'm going to go over with my client the confidentiality agreement that is between her, myself, and the organization that I'm working for. I'm also going to be taking notes during this assessment interview to just in case I miss something. I have it in my notes, and I'm also going to get permission from her to record the interview. And if she has any issues with anything that we just went over, we can adjust file and move on from there. So right now, I'll be doing a And right now, the perspectives that I will be using in this initial interview will be the strength-based perspective and the collaboration. The strength-based perspective, it really focuses on the abilities and potential for the client to grow, to learn from all of their aspects, and focus on the good things that they're doing in their life instead of focusing on the negative. And the collaboration process is I think it goes hand in hand with the strength based perspective, because I feel like without one you can't have the other and be successful when using one of the two of the methods in the initial assessment. So right now I'm going to ask my client, a series of questions and try to, dig into a little bit more and try to bring out things that she necessarily wouldn't think about with being on her own. So some of the questions, I would ask her is, hi, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? Once she lets me know, how she's feeling, if whether it's okay or bad, then I can, determine what's my next question, or I could start interview off with what brings you into the office today and open the door up that way. So I would also ask her, tell me some things about you that you enjoy doing every day. Um, how do you like to spend your free time? What do you do to relax? And could you give me some things about yourself that that you feel that you're very very good at, on top of everything that's going on. Some examples of that would be a good multitasker, a good listener, a good organizer. She's has to be patient if she has you know three kids and a husband and stuff. So patience is something that we all can learn from to be to be a better person overall. Having good balance, being able to balance different things in our life, having a sense of humor, and being able to adapt to any situation. And I think, if the client came and said some of these things, and then it will give me a foundation on where to go next. And going back to the strength based perspective, all of the good things that she's just told me, those are the things I would like to focus on, within this interview. So, we're pointing out all the good things instead of, focusing on all the terrible things. This will be the one of the most important parts when we're doing the intervention process with the client. She stated at the beginning of the interview, what her situation was. She's in a third marriage with, kids, and her current husband was abusive to her. Also, her father was abusive to her growing up, and also her mother, and even her previous two marriages. Her husbands in those marriages was also abusive to her, and she states that this is all she knows, so almost seems second nature to her because she grew up that way. And right now, I just want her to focus on people are recognized as having strengths and the capacity to continue to learn, grow, and change, which is, very important when, doing the initial assessment. So I would reiterate with my client, all of the positive things that she's doing right now and making sure that she understands, what my role will be here. Uh, in this process, she did state that she was a little bit on the fence of trusting men because of her um, past relationships with everybody that she's had. So, me being a male, you know, social worker in this field, she's a little bit apprehensive on the fence of, really opening up and getting to know me. So it's very important as a male social worker, dealing or working with clients that are females that have issues or, feel some kind of way or, want to hold back because there's a male um, social worker that's helping her with a case. It's important for us to, break down those barriers and break down those walls and let her, and let her know that we're here to help her and, to make things better for, her and her life. When it comes to the collaboration perspective with this initial assessment interview, it's important that the client is well aware of what's going on and she has to want it. She has to want change. And going off of what she said earlier in the interview, she really was reluctant of opening up to a male social worker because of the history and the past that she's had, with men have all been negative. And, I'll try my best to, break down those walls. And, if she ultimately declines it, it is the number one priority. And, if she didn't want to work with a male, social worker, then we'll take different avenues of approach to get her the proper help that she needs. So some of the intervention techniques that we could use, is either, putting her in counseling with her kids, or putting her and her husband in marriage counseling, and then we could possibly, even talk to her husband, to go into Alcoholic Anonymous because she's stated that, the only time that her husband is abusive to her is when he's been out drinking at a bar. He gets off of work and goes straight to the bar. So when he comes home, he's already, amped up or, on, the alcohol and stuff. And I think it's important, that we have a solid foundation when we're trying to, do these strength-based perspectives and the collaboration to help a client out because when it all boils down to it, you want to have a solid foundation and you want to make sure that everybody comes to the table with a clear head and with, nothing in their systems. You want them to be conscious and fully aware and, of what is going on and what kind of dedication it would take. And in order for it to work, everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to be motivated to, seek better. If to seek better and to do better in their lives. And, as far as the main client goes, she has to understand, what kind of dedication it's going to take on her part, out of all of the good things that she stated to me that she's good at, we can use that to build, a case, and, and stay on the track of always pointing out the good things that she's doing instead of focusing directly on all of the bad things. So I think positive reinforcement with the strength-based perspective and with dealing with the collaboration portion of it, it like I said before, it all ties hand in hand. Thank you.